The conflict in the Middle East shows no signs of abating, and its ripple effects are profoundly impacting global markets. Oil prices are oscillating at exceptionally high levels, creating a complex economic landscape. United States President Donald Trump, however, finds a surprising positive angle, noting that the conditions for the United States, as the world's largest oil producer, are vastly different from those facing Europe. Recent Iranian attacks on the energy sector in the Persian Gulf have triggered a significant surge in oil prices. The price for a barrel, or 159 liters, of North Sea Brent crude for May delivery temporarily climbed above 100 United States dollars. While it later settled slightly below that mark at $99.40, this still represented an increase of nearly 8% compared to the previous day. United States President Trump has interpreted this price hike favorably. On his platform, Truth Social, he stated, "The United States is by far the largest oil producer in the world. So when oil prices go up, we make a lot of money." He emphasized that his primary concern beyond energy prices is preventing Iran from developing nuclear weapons. Indeed, data from Statista confirms the United States as the world's top oil producer, ahead of Saudi Arabia and Russia. This situation offers a welcome relief for numerous smaller, independent oil producers in the United States, many of whom faced years of pressure due to previously low prices. However, the picture is considerably different for American consumers. During his campaign, President Trump had pledged to significantly reduce domestic energy prices. Yet, in the wake of the war involving Iran, gasoline prices in the United States have escalated to their highest levels since summer 2024. This surge in oil prices and the associated inflation for consumers could pose a political challenge for the president. Experts suggest, though, that an oil price shock might have a less severe impact on United States inflation now than in previous decades. According to researcher Amy Myers Jaffe, the United States economy is more resilient to oil price shocks today than it was in the 1970s. She attributes this to two key factors. The United States has transitioned from being an oil importer to an oil exporter, and its economy has become far less oil intensive, now generating greater economic value with considerably less oil consumption. Globally, the conflict in Iran is causing an unprecedented disruption to the oil supply, according to the International Energy Agency. The International Energy Agency describes this as the greatest supply disruption in the history of the global oil market. Increasing attacks by Iranian forces against the energy infrastructure of key producing nations in the Persian Gulf have been driving prices higher. For instance, fuel tanks at the port of Salalah in Oman were reportedly struck by Iranian drones. Furthermore, shipping in the Persian Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz, and the Gulf of Oman is constantly under threat. The danger posed by Iranian missiles and drones has brought commercial shipping in the region almost to a complete standstill since the war began. Recent statements from Iran's Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei hint at a prolonged factual closure of the Strait of Hormuz. This vital waterway is the primary route for crude oil from the Persian Gulf to Asian countries. Khamenei was quoted in state media asserting, "The lever of blocking the Strait of Hormuz must continue to be utilized." Earlier in the week, North Sea crude oil briefly surged to nearly $120 due to the Iran conflict's escalation. However, prices then fell to almost $80, partly influenced by President Trump's statements about a swift end to the war. This relief proved short-lived. The announcement of releasing strategic oil reserves also failed to curb the upward trend, and oil prices rebounded robustly. The International Energy Agency had announced the release of a record amount of strategic oil reserves, with 32 member countries committing to put 400 million barrels of crude oil onto the market. Their objective is to stabilize markets strained by the war, but the volatility persists. What's your take on Oil Soars? Trump sees US profit, global market disrupts. Share your view in the comments. Do you think this will matter in the next news cycle? This video was generated using artificial intelligence.